Welcome back to the Aesthetic Circle podcast. My name is Jay Beauty, your host. I am a esthetician, entrepreneur, and educator here in Atlanta, Georgia. And this podcast is going to be a really special one, From Dreams to Reality, my journey into the beauty industry and how I became a lash artist and or wax specialist. So I want to give you guys a few steps on how to jump into the field if you're starting out, just have the initial interest or mindset that maybe this is something that you want to do and you don't know where to start, right? So let's jump right into it. Number one would be having the interest in following your gut. I feel like we often don't listen to our gut, and our gut be telling us exactly what to do and when to do it. For example, before I started lashing, I got a gift for my very first lash set for, I believe it was my 21st or 22nd birthday. And I had a gift from a Groupon of a girl doing lashes, and I went and got my lashes done. And it literally, as soon as I laid down on her table, there was this thought that crossed my mind, and it was just like, I wonder if I can do this. Now that thought happened, my lash service went on, and I left, and I did not do any research or put any thought into it, but it was always in the back of my mind, like, I wonder if I can do lashes. It wasn't until a year later where I actually took some initiative to reach out to that same lash artist and ask if she was doing training classes because I wanted to see if this was something that I could do and that if I would enjoy it, right? And so she was doing classes and she gave me her fee. And her classes at the time was two students with her. And I took that class, I think, 2 weeks later. And it was really intriguing. I liked doing it. I was not good in the beginning. But I say all of this to say that having the interest, I should have maybe done my research on it a little bit earlier or just watch some videos. Now, when I did start in the industry, there was not a lot of information out there on lash technicians, right? There was not a lot of salons doing it. It was very new to Atlanta at least. And again, this was like 8, 9 years ago. Lashes was not big here. People were doing mostly strips. This was not a thing. But I do feel like if I would have taken the initiative to research the interest that I had, I would have started a lot sooner. So once I took this course and I got certified, I then initially um, open a business bank account. But again, I did that because I was in banking and I knew that I needed to separate some funds a little bit. And even though I thought this would just be a hobby, I knew that I didn't want to mix personal and business together. I went and got my EIN. I did all of that from the very jump. But once you take your course, you definitely want to start practicing. Practice, practice, practice. Because lashes is very tedious. And it's not an easy task. Even if you're trying to become a waxer, you need to practice. Now, waxing, I feel like, is a lot easier to grasp. I feel like I grasped waxing in maybe 2 weeks max. But there's still a lot of trial and error and different skin types and different things you need to know about it. So you want to make sure that you are practicing on family and friends. Offer them some free services or maybe charge them a fee that would just supply yourself with the supplies so that you're not coming out of pocket with the supplies and they also get a free service. But you want to get as much practice as you can because that's how you will get better. Now, I say, 2 to 3 months max. Once you have been practicing consistently for 2 to 3 months max and you decide this is something you actually want to do, you actually want to do this as a business or go work for somebody or whatever the case may be, that is the time when you need to go ahead and enroll yourself in school. I know that different states have different requirements and different parts of the country have different requirements, but here in Georgia, to be a lash artist or a wax specialist, you have to have a cosmetology license or aesthetic license, or I believe you can be an RN. So you want to make sure that you just jump right in there and do that. Now, cosmetology and aesthetic school is very expensive. I'm not going to lie to you. So this is why I always tell people to get into the field a little bit by taking a course and practicing and even seeing if this is something you're really interested in, or if it's just a trend that's going around and you're following the trend. So you want to make sure this is something that you're passionate about, because lashes is very tedious. Waxing can get very messy. It is not something just to do just because it's easy money, because it takes time to grow in this beauty field. So if you want to do this, you need to have a passion for it. That's what a lot of people make the mistake of jumping into this field and not doing it for the passion, but doing it for the money, and then getting upset because the money residuals isn't coming in as they thought it would, or as everybody else is promoting on social media. Because it takes time, it takes passion, love, and people feel when you actually really don't want to do something. Now, before you enroll in school, please go visit them campuses, those school grounds, do a tour. Make sure that this is something, or that school is somewhere you want to get your license from, because there are a lot of schools popping up left and right in Georgia, and a lot of these schools are not teaching nobody anything. So you definitely want to make sure you go to a great school. You don't want to go to the cheapest school because, oh, they're new, it's a $700 tuition. I promise you, you're not going to learn anything. Aesthetic and cosmetology schools, I believe, is $15,000 and up. They do offer FAFSA and other payment plans and stuff, but you're not going to learn anything if you taking one of these cheap $700 courses. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. So I went to one school, but just throughout my career, I have come across people who went to various schools in Georgia. And from my observation, I believe the best school so far in Georgia would be the Atlanta Institute of something. It's the school that's in Dunwoody, Georgia, and they do massage too. I think it's called like Atlanta Massage International or something like that. Um, from my observation, that has been the best experience from students, is that particular school. A lot of schools can't keep teachers. My school also could not keep teachers. There was a month or two where we went without a teacher at a time. And so you want to make sure you're getting your money's worth and you're not getting, whatever they just give you. So make sure that you just check out those schools. Now, once you in school, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're going to school to be a lash tech, they're not teaching you nothing about lashes. You're going to learn all about skincare. You're going to do a little bit of waxing. You're going to do a quarter of some makeup applications, but everything is mainly skincare, facials, and different things like that. So when I was in school, that's how I fell in love with lashes, because originally I went to school just to be a lash tech, and then I fell in love with waxing. That's just because school taught me that. Now, in school, we were not allowed to do full Brazilian waxes. We can only do like bikini waxes and different things like that. But that's where I learned I like waxing. I like a little bit of eyebrows. I can do facials. I'm really good at them, but that is not where my passion is. So we're going to talk about that another day, is making sure that you have a specialty and don't just offer stuff because you know how to do it. Offer things that you are passionate about, but that's a whole nother podcast. But again, so when I was in school, I learned everything but lashes. And then I learned waxing, and that's how I learned that I had an interest here. And okay, I love waxing. I also love lashes. So you may come into contact with another service that you love that you will be able to offer. But again, you want to specialize in something. So I would not recommend offering everything that you can do. Offer things that you are passionate about. But while you're in school, you get a formal education and training in aesthetics to build a strong foundation. That is the whole sole purpose of that, and also learning the sanitation processes and how to sterilize, clean, and disinfect your utensils and be state board, not certified, but be be in state board compliance to make sure that wherever you go, you're remaining in compliance. And when you decide to open your own salon or salon suites or however you do it, that you are compliant and you do not get those hefty fines. I am going to do a podcast soon about what to expect from state board visits because I have had them pop up 3 times. So I am very, very, very knowledgeable on what they want from me and expect from salons. Now, while you're in school, you want to be working in that field. You want to go seek some type of internship to gain hands-on experience and industry insights. You need some type of salon experience. Most places is going to go with the girls or the guys who have the most experience, right? And if you're coming straight out of school and looking for a job and you don't have most experience, you're going to get paid less, maybe less commission, because this industry is big on a commission-based salary. Commission, well, not salary, but it's commission-based. But you want to make sure that you are high up in the interests of employers because of your experience. So even if it's a free intern and you're sitting there in a salon for 3 hours out your day after you finish school for 3 to 4 days a week, that is time that will be valuable later, right? When girls come out of school, they automatically think, or even in school, in internships, they automatically think they're going to be having clients and they're going to be doing facials and they're going to be doing this. Please remember, you're not licensed yet. This salon has to trust you and oversee your work as you're doing something on somebody, because if anything happens, that salon is liable for whatever. If somebody tries to sue, somebody gets a bad irritation or reaction or whatever the case may be, that salon is responsible for you doing the service and you're not licensed. So you can work with salons under an internship, but you must be overseen. You still must be in school and taking your hours, and you need to put in that time and build relationships. Networking is really big, and networking can get you a lot in this field. So make sure that you're just building those relationships. Another idea is to go get maybe a part-time or seasonal reception job in a salon-based environment that do services that you want to do, so that you can oversee and have the experience of that salon and see how things are ran. Because you may think you may be so business savvy and you know how you want to do it and how everything goes, but things are different when you're in the position of the business owner, and you want to make sure that you are prepared and you just have that experience and know things before jumping out there. During school, my teacher did recommend for me to keep servicing people. Now, I don't know if this is the right thing to do. I'm just saying what I did. So in school, I did service clients outside of school. That is when I started traveling to clients. I would travel to wax them. I would travel to do their lashes. Yes, I had a detailed consent form. I had a booking software account. I had a website that I made. I had all of the things I needed to get appointments, to promote, and to just have the experience from people and learn the in and outs. So that is how I was able to get good in lashing and waxing by the time I graduated, because I did a part-time program in school because I was still working at the bank. Therefore, my program was a 12-month course. Within that year, I had perfected classic lash extensions and Brazilian waxing. And my experience with those different clients and working with different people and seeing what they like and what they don't like really helped me in the long run when I graduated and wanted to go out and work in the field. Once I graduated, I immediately went to go seek employment. And no, I did not go to just getting my own salon suite, because there was a lot I needed to know in a business of a salon. I've never worked in a salon. I didn't really know how one was ran. I knew how I was running my travel business and different things like that. And I knew that I came across challenges and different things that I probably needed more experience in. So I wanted to go work for someone. Also, at that time, there was not a lot of lash salons. Most people were doing lashes on their own, and there wasn't a lot of guidance. There were no YouTube videos, podcasts wasn't popping off yet. There was not much of that, but there were a lot more waxing opportunities. So what I did is I went and got my resume and just started passing that out. I think I made like 20 copies one day, and there was this one particular lash salon that has multiple locations here in Georgia, and they were known for the $35 waxing. And in my mind, I thought that they were franchises. So I went out and I printed all of these resumes, and I just went out and passed it. I went to each location I would want to work at that the distance of the salon would be good for me. And I just went in, I asked for the manager, I introduced myself, I let them know that I was a licensed esthetician that finished school. Well, at the time I wasn't licensed. I had just finished school. So I had let them know that I just finished school and I wanted to work. And so I gave all of them my my resume. Literally maybe 2 days later, I got a call. And she's like, I'm calling you today and I want to set up a interview. It wasn't a location I had looked at. It wasn't a location I knew about. Went out to that location, and what she said to me was, you were so consistent on going to all of our locations and getting your face out there and speaking to managers and giving out your resume. She says, we have a waiting list of over 100 estheticians on this list. Nobody has ever done that before, so we skipped you to the top. Mind you, I was not already licensed. I was in the process of getting my license, all of that. So right away, they hired me on. I took my test, passed my test, got my license, and I was just in there. I was working, and I wanted to get experience of the salon. So I was able to see how things were ran. I was able to see things I would like to incorporate once I decide to get my own business, and things I would change because I didn't quite like the way they did certain things. So all of that experience paid off for me, because as I'm in my salon now, it's like, I remember when such and such did this. I didn't like that, but let's tweak that a little bit, And one of the things that I made sure of too is when I left. When I left, I was starting all over. Now, I still was doing lashes on the side because there was no conflict of interest with me doing lashes, since they did not offer lashes. So I had some lash clients, and when I decided to go out on my own, I just promoted the waxing to my lash clients. But I did not take any clients from that salon. I literally left with a clean slate. Didn't take no people. I was like, if somebody want me, they gonna come out and find me, And there were some people that did. Like, 2 months later, I would have people pop up. It was like, I was looking for you, And you just want to make sure you have a good rapport with people, because you just never know what'll happen in life, and if you would need to go back into that space, or another space, because this industry is so small. Everybody talks. So you just want to make sure you leave a good rapport with people. I would recommend working for an establishment between 1 to 3 years. It really depends on your goals, how business savvy you are, your customer service, and all of that is, before you jump out and go into your own salon suite or working from home or anything. But I will always say you need that customer service and that salon experience. You kind of want to get a fast-paced salon so you know how to navigate things when things are a little more hectic. Another thing that will help with learning customer service and sales. You need sales. Sales is everything. I don't know why people think in this field they can jump out there and people just going to come to them. No, you need some sales experience. So my first job was Walgreens, and at that job, I learned sales, I learned customer service, and time management, because those were the three things that was very important to my manager at the time. And so I always tell people too, you need some customer service experience. You need to be working in the field. It doesn't have to be a salon. You can go work in a retail drugstore like Walgreens or something. You can go work in a clothing store. You can go work in a restaurant. I want you to have face-to-face experience with customers and know how to deal with stressful and troubled situations and know how to stay professional, know how to sell to them and upsell. You need to know all of that before you jump out and get your own business. Because when things are down in services, what keeps everything flowing is the sales of products, the sales of upselling other services, the sales, and how great of customer service you have. People will consistently come to you because you make them feel good, even if you make some errors. Also, if you take accountability for those errors, they will feel they can trust you a lot more than you just always blaming it on the customer or client. So for a recap, you want to make sure you have interest and follow your gut in whatever you decide to do. You want to follow up on that interest and that gut feeling and make sure that you don't let years and years pass by of you not even doing a little bit of research and seeing if this is something that you can actually do and enjoy doing. You want to practice on family and friends, give them some incentives of giving them free services or maybe charge them $10 to $15 just for the supplies that's going to be used on them, just to get that practice. Then you want to enroll in aesthetic school. You want to research your school, make sure that it is somewhere you can get to on time, because aesthetic school is not easy. It's like a full-time job. You want to make sure you get all of your hours so that once your program is done, you're not trying to catch up with hours, because that can be draining. You want to then go when you're in school and get some type of internship or a receptionist job or something in that salon environment that do the services that you're passionate about, so you can get some insight and experience in. With doing that, 9 times out of 10, the owner of that salon or manager will hire you on after you finish school so that you can get even more experience and gain some insight and understand how to deal with customers. You want to make sure you stay with that salon between 1 to 3 years, or just a aesthetic salon that's doing the services you want to do. Within 1 to 3 years, you can go to work for different ones just to see how different people do it and just get some experience and learn from there. And these steps will guide you on a path to becoming a successful lash artist or a waxer. This is exactly how I did it. This is what I recommend. And I wish you nothing but great luck on your journey and keep flourishing. Make sure you tune into the next Aesthetic Circle podcast. Until next time.